Thanks for showing up, fellas. How we doing? Happy, what is today, Thursday? Thursday. Happy Thursday. What am I supposed to talk about, Nick?
Talk about upcoming matchup on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Game coming here. I was just worried about practice today. Saturday, Fullerton. I've known Dietrich a long time. He was like one of the first guys. I was in Arizona working for Arizona Power Basketball Academy. He was one of the first guys to come down to our gym and start looking at our players, and saw that we had something going on down there. And I'll never forget Dietrich, man. It was Dietrich and Lamont Paris, or Lamont Smith, one of the Lamont. But Dietrich came down, and he was at Arizona State at the time. He was Scott Para, Dietrich, and came down, saw the guys. He's like, "Hey man, you're doing a good thing down here. Just keep doing it." And I was in a dark place at the time, and I'll never forget Dietrich just coming down and showing me some love, and just kind of picking me up and kind of getting me excited about the game again, because I hadn't been around college for a while. I was doing the AAU grassroots stuff, and then he obviously moved on and did big things. And Dietrich has been at Fullerton for a long time. I mean, I think he's the all-time winningest coach there. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that, but I know this. When Linder was here, we played at Fullerton. We played at Fullerton last year. Every time we played at Fullerton, it's always been a dogfight. His teams are physical. This year's team, he's physical and fast. They still got a big man down low in Kendrick DeLuna, who we recruited here at Wyoming, who's been there, who's been a staple for him, a centerpiece for him. And I appreciate a guy like Kendrick staying at a spot for a long period of time and running his race. And that's a testament to the relationship that Dietrich's built with his players. And he's not unlike any other college coach right now who has to have 10 to 13 new players on his roster and has to revamp who they are and what they're about. But I know this. They scored 137,000 points in their first game. Okay, they broke the school record for most points. I think they shot 43s, hit 16 of them. I think it's going to be a track meet on Saturday. It's going to be a track meet. He wants to play fast. I've heard him talk about playing fast. We want to play fast. We know that. It's who can play fast and focused. And it's going to be a fun game. We don't overlook any opponent. We sure as crap aren't going to overlook Fullerton, because Dietrich he's done wonders there, man. He is an unbelievable coach. Fullerton should be lucky to have Dietrich, just because of how many NCAA tournaments he's been to and the way he's been able to produce, winning programs after winning program there at Fullerton. And so it's a fun game. It's also a game that makes me nauseous, just because I know like this. I'm still getting used to this playing fast stuff. And they're a team that wants to play fast as well. So it should be a fun one on Saturday. Hope everybody comes out and enjoys the beautiful weather we have here in Laradice.
Sundance, you said you enjoyed the win the other night, but not the process of how you got there. How did the guys respond to celebrating, then getting into a scout, into practice, preparing for another opponent?
Yeah, I think this is like one of those places where coaches are a little bit weird in this sense, right? Winning cures all things, all the, just win, baby, Al Davis Raiders stuff. It's how you win. We talk about it's not who you play, it's not where you play, it's not when you play, it's how you play. And the process of the how we get there, our process, it has to feel right for me to sit there and say, you know what, our guys did what we were supposed to do. And now our process is getting better. So I shouldn't just sit there and say I wasn't extremely pleased. I look back at Northern Colorado, College of Idaho, and Northern State, and I've seen us have more elite execution on offense, less losing execution on offense, more dialed in defensive possessions, and less losing effort possessions on defense. They keep going down, right? I think it was like 33 losing effort possessions against Northern Colorado. It was 27 against College of Idaho, and then it was 23 against Northern State on the defensive side. And losing effort means we're just not sustaining effort for the full period of the possession. And so we're critical on that. It's getting better. It's just still not where it needs to be. To win, you have to eliminate losing. And to me, losing is lack of execution on offense and losing effort, constant effort on defense. Those are the things that we're still trying to correct. Winning plays have stayed the same. We're missing way too many layups. We're not finishing through physicality still well. We've been working on that this week as well. It's just been an emphasis, what you were bad at, Dick Bennett's rule, what you were bad at yesterday must correct today, what you were bad at last week, we must overemphasize this week to make sure that we're trying to correct those things. And so the process of pace is good. Now here's how I'll break down RP40 for you, to give you guys a little lesson on how when I do RP40 with our team, we talk about the relentless side of it, right, is number one. If it doesn't feel relentless to me, then you can't call it RP40, right? Just call it, whatever, P40, I don't know, P90X, I don't know what you want to call it, but if it doesn't feel relentless to me, then we can't live that identity. We're still creating that identity. And so the first thing is relentless pressure. And so it has to feel relentless on the defensive end. I didn't think our ball pressure was relentless against Northern State in the first half. Thought it got better in the second half, but to have relentless pressure, it's full court pressure, it's half court pressure. There needs to be relentless ball pressure, and we need to do a better job of doing that from the jump. So that was a big correction point. The second part is pace, relentless pace for 40 minutes. So we had 11 possessions where we got the ball to the rim in 4 seconds or less. It's pretty good. The fastest teams in the country have 11 to 17 possessions in transition, right, where they're scoring out of those possessions. So we had 11 possessions where we got to the rim in 4 seconds or less, or 5 seconds or less. Then we had 15 possessions in the game total, including those 11, where we got to the paint or to the rack in 7 seconds or less. So we were pushing the pace. It was pretty good. That would be relentless. Now, once we push pace, we have to be able to relentlessly seek our flow options faster. So we didn't get to flow as fast as I'd like us to, because that's how you keep the pressure on them, the pace pressure on them. All right, so relentless pressure, relentless pace. Relentless paint. Paint has been a thing that we've talked about. We're not shooting as many threes, but we've been able to get to the paint a lot, right? And so I think it was 55 paint possessions for 86 points against Northern State, so that was pretty relentless, seeking the paint. Not sure how it'll be against Fullerton. Every game presents its own unique opportunities and obstacles, right? So we'll see what happens there, but if they're going to play fast and we're going to play fast, there's probably going to be a lot of relentless pace and relentless paint. And then the last part is relentless poise and purpose. And that's eliminating shot selection turnovers, the shots that we don't want. There was a lot of out of rhythm, non-paint twos and non-paint threes in what I call like the twilight zone of the shot clock, right? And that's that like 13 to 17 seconds, 13 to 18 seconds where you're not quite in flow, right? You haven't established your flow identity yet, and you're not in sprint to score. So we're in this twilight zone where we need to seek an advantage, and we just settled for crappy shots, shot selection turnovers. So there's turnovers and shot selection turnovers. To me, like missed layups, we missed 11 of them, and that I consider a missed layup is even if we get fouled and we should finish it, we missed it. Like, albeit we got fouled on some, we missed too many layups. And so missed layups, block shots or turnovers, shot selection turnovers. It's not everything's just not just a turnover, right? It's not just a box score. Like, you can look at really bad shots and be like, that's a turnover. Nobody knew the shot was coming. Nobody was in position to rebound. We lost a possession. And so we were just correct. Those are the things that we're correcting on with our RP40. There's 4 categories: pace, or pressure, pace, paint, and poise. And that's kind of how we break it down.
How about player response since Monday's game? You didn't really like some of the defensive possessions. How have you seen them come back?
Yeah, to me, the mentality is where we're still working. We're still working on the mentality. Right? And Anthony, this is when you have a young team, you're going to have immaturity. So it's a race to maturity.
Yeah.
This is a race to maturity for guys that are young. Dennis is a sophomore. Jared Harris is a sophomore. Gavin and Nas and Sim are freshmen. I mean, young guys. There's a race to maturity. Can they be more mature in their approach to practice, which is another part of the process here? And I haven't seen the maturity that I'd like to see yet consistently on a daily basis from those guys, which to me, I'll just shoot the signal flare up in the sky right now. You're just begging for something that you don't want to happen in a program, albeit that's going to be a loss at some point because they're not maturing fast enough because they want to have this, they're holding on to things that they can't control, right? Whether that's, this day and age, these young men worry about their perception, how they're perceived by their peers or on social media, or by their family and friends or their agents or aunts or uncles, all these people that are around them. They're worried about, like, what does it look like if this doesn't happen? And they're not making time to make it happen, to go do the work. And they're worried about all the things that could go wrong, right? It's the fear, doubt, and worry that are demotivators in life. And they're worrying about the fear of failure. They're doubting their own abilities. They're worrying about the potential outcome, and it hasn't even happened yet. And those things paralyze you in the moment, and they stop you from working the way you should work. And so I'm getting a little bit, poetic here in nature and explaining some things here, but that's where this team has to grow up. They have to stop worrying about everybody else's perception of them and worry about what we're doing in our circle and stop worrying about what could happen. I could play 10 guys, but it could be a completely different rotation on Saturday that I played on, whenever we played Northern, Monday. because of the matchup or because of the coverages. We have 12 guys that are able to play, the able-bodied dudes, and they could be completely different rotation Saturday, and I want everybody to stay ready. Because of that, these guys are having a hard time handling that. Everybody wants to be solid, set, and in a rotation. I want you to fight for your minutes every single day. I want you to earn your opportunity coming Saturday. And then whatever happens on Saturday, I want you to earn the opportunity to play again on Tuesday. Why? Because we have a competitive roster and we have some depth. And so I don't want anybody to be complacent or lackadaisical in their approach. I want them to keep an edge and to stay sharp because we're going to need that for our identity. We're going to need that as we go on. We don't have the luxury to have a top-heavy roster. We have a very balanced and complete roster. So,
Are you interested to see a team like Cal State Boulder? I mean, they come from sea level basically. See how they do against.
I know
see how
San
they
Diego,
fare up
people
here.
don't like our elevation.
Yeah.
All right, they don't like our altitude up here. So I'm not sure if Fullerton, likes our elevation as well. We'll see. I mean, I thought Northern State handled it well. I thought they got out here. I'll tell you this: they came out here early. Everybody wants to come here late. They got out here early, like 2 days early. They got here on Saturday. We played on Monday. They had a butt kicker practice on Wednesday, and I was talking to some of the players.